Moving on in our generations of rugby in Windsor, we got Spencer and Vern, who have joined us from other countries, and that has been a big part of Windsor Rugby over the years, is guys that come from away that play here. And they're going to tell us their story about why rugby is important to them and how they found the club.
Hi, I'm Spencer. So I joined the club back in 2010. I made the move over to Windsor for a lovely lady who brought me across the ditch. Pretty much, first thing I did when I landed here is I emailed the club. I got some guy called Sean. He responded to me. Didn't respond again for a week or two, and I was, what's going on here? So I got told he works for Emacs, showed up at his office, and one of the ladies at the reception, I'm here to see Sean. And she heard my accent and she was like, is this for a house or is this for rugby? I was like, it's for rugby. Anyway, Sean was out that day, but he got the message, ended up coming to practice, and that was how I met the Windsor Rugby Club. I'm not sure how it worked for you, Vern.
Yeah. I came over in 2016 for school, and one of the guys that I went to school with happened to start playing rugby that year as well. So late 2016 I came out and I just started doing indoor practice with the Rogues, and then 2017 was my first season with the Rogues.
What's your background in rugby prior to Windsor?
I started when I was 5 years old, playing for this little team called Little Blue Bulls, which kind of sucks because they suck at rugby. But
Little Blue Balls?
Yeah, Bulls.
Don't make fun of the South African accent.
Yeah, and I just played all through primary school, all through secondary school, and I played club rugby after school until I was 21, and then I moved to Canada.
What about you, Spenny? Where did you get your start in rugby?
I technically didn't play rugby till university. I grew up playing league. I think I played soccer early, and I started playing league around 8 or 9. Played that all through my teenage years, up and played first grade for a little country town called Kyogle. We were the Turkeys, and moved to university and moved in with a couple of lads there, and I was like, where's the closest league team? And they said, you're not playing league. And I was like, and they dragged me down to practice there, and that's where I learnt my rugby trade, started there, and played a few seasons there, and then made my way across to Canada.
You got any particular players or events or things that stick out on your mind over the last 13 years here in Windsor?
Over the last 13 years, there's been a couple on-field and off-field events that we touch base on. On-field, we were playing up at Bruce County there one year, probably 2011, early around then, 2011, 2012, and the ball spat out of this ruck, and they were a pinch type, and I just saw this lonesome old prop standing out there calling for this ball, and I was like, yep, it's on. I threw this cutout pass across the pitch, and it hit him fair on the chest, screaming. His name was Mike Park, and he came out of nowhere. It must have been around the 40 metre, 50 metres. He'd probably say, it was 60, 70 metres, but he burst through that line, and these little scrawny wingers came out of nowhere, and it was like he was swatting flies for 40 metres. He just sat there, just like, go away, just go away, right? And I've never seen a guy, prop 40 metres out like that, hit it, and with all respect at that age, it was something that changed my vision of Windsor Rugby for, after that event. Off the field, it's always a prop involved. We were travelling up to St. Catherine's there one year, and I was the new kid on the block, and they took me out for dinner. We were in this nice little establishment, and there was a gentleman called Ryan Ivey. He took me under his wing that night, and we were having dinner, and my beer spilled across the table. I couldn't believe it. He took off his boots, stood up in the middle of this restaurant, and he was like, shoot the boot, shoot. In the middle of this restaurant with families and kids, here I am down on one knee out of this stinky prop's shoe, drinking a beer in the middle of this restaurant. And I was like, yeah, that's, you know, this is a culture I want to be part of. So.
And Vern, don't you have a bride from this game?
I do, yeah. My first year, 2017, the Rogues had their first tournament, and I was talking to my buddy Ben, and this really attractive girl came up to him with a Powerade and a fruit, and she handed it to him, and we started talking, and it was Genevieve. She's now my wife, so I met her 2017. Funny story about that, a few years later, I met my buddy Derek, and then a year after that, my buddy Joel. And when Jen and I got married, we moved into a house together, and Derek and Joel ended up moving in with us as roommates. So the three people that was introduced through rugby to me, I ended up living with them, and they're structural in my life right now.
So it sounds like the moral or the common theme here of talking to all these guys over the years is the connection you make with other people.
Yes.
And the fun that you have and the memories that you make. So thank you guys very much for telling us a little bit about your time with Windsor Rugby. I appreciate it.
A little bit of a rugby community.
Thanks, guys. All right.